My Minecraft hardcore world is quickly approaching 1,000 days, and my goal by then is to completely finish my first city. And, well, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Yeah, I spent an entire month on this one video. It's such a great idea. My first issue is that I really hated how the terrain looked in this area, so I decided it would be a good idea to terraform this huge area, and it took a couple days on its own. That took a crazy amount of time just to flatten out this little area here, but this gives us a great area to build our farming village, a bunch of farms and stuff like that. But first of all, to kind of lay out where everything's gonna go, I think the best way we can do that is by extending our mud paths all the way around. I've got tons of mud, even more in my storage room, and I think we should lay out a bunch of paths here to kind of figure out how exactly we're gonna be building this. Laying out paths like that is actually really helpful because now we can see exactly kind of what I'm going for. There's going to be tons of fields as well as small villages and like a windmill or something. I'm not quite sure yet. But the only way I was able to have this much packed mud is because of something I did in the last episode that I actually cut out of the video. Inside the basement of our storage room, you can see that there is a room down here with a wheat farm, an alley powered wheat farm, which I didn't actually show in the video because it didn't work. It didn't work at first because I think the villagers could still pick up the wheat or something, but at the time it was completely broken. But now it's actually producing quite a bit of wheat. To get back on focus though, I think I'm going to continue on in this area. I think I'm going to use the mangrove roots to sort of lay out some fences that we're going to use to plant our fields in. These 5 plots here seem like a great start for our farming area, but first, before we build anything, I want to lay out a few houses. There's going to be a small little farming village over here, and maybe even some separate farming houses, so let's use this red wool and mark some stuff out. As you can see, I want to build a few houses over here, a few other scattered houses, and a windmill, but I'm not sure exactly how that windmill is gonna go. Like, I want to cover up this creeper farm, but then again, trying to build something out of this giant box is gonna be very difficult, and I probably have to terraform or something, and I'd kind of rather do one this size. I'm gonna have to kind of work out if I'm gonna do something with this, which is probably the option I have to go with. I don't know, that's going to be kind of a challenge to design something around that. Especially something that scales with all these other houses, because this is huge compared to the other houses I've built in this area so far. But I want to stall on doing that for as long as possible, so I'm going to actually plant some crops in our crop fields. I feel like that's pretty important. So we'll start with a wheat field over here, maybe some carrot farms, potato farms, flower farms. Let's see what we can do with this area to try to add color and life. I built the wheat field and also a tree for some reason. I think this looks pretty good. I'm really trying to work on building trees recently because I'm not that great at it. But I think it turned out alright, as well as the wheat field, which looks great with this 2 tall wheat. And to be honest, these fields are going to be a great way to fill up this area. Another field I want to try to build is this field over here. I'm going to try to build a little flower field with these flowers here. These lilac flowers. But I think let's replace the ground first. Now let's place down these. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good, but if we're doing this whole area now, I might as well build this little farmhouse over here before we move on to any more crop fields. Not only did I add that house, but I also added a bunch of other details to really bring this area to life, and I think it adds so much to our world. Like this tree, I'm not great at building trees, but I think this turned out pretty good. I've honestly never built any trees like this, so this is a first for me. As well as I added a second field here because I didn't feel like I really filled up the area enough. Our little farmhouse over here is very simple, but I think it fits into this area pretty well, and I'm sort of going to build more like those over here, which I think we could actually do right now. Let's build 3 more of those little houses right in this area, kind of keeping to the same style. Let's see how they turn out. And as you've seen in the time lapse, I spent the last couple of days building and detailing this little village over here. I don't even know if you could call this a village of 3 farming houses. They're all very similar in style. They use slightly different roofs, but I think This is a nice little touch to this whole area that we're transforming. I've also been trying to add in a few custom trees like this where I can, and I think it adds quite a bit to the area. Now I think we'll take a break from building houses and add these 3 more fields here to really get an idea of how this whole area is going to turn out. Well, planting these 2 new fields, which look great by the way, there was one thing on my mind. This stone box over here. This thing is kind of a problem for me. On the one hand, I really don't want to destroy this. These things take forever to make it. It's producing me a ton of gunpowder. Plus, I have a great AFK platform for it. But on the other hand, it's impossible to build anything here. I mean, unless I wanted to terraform a huge mountain over it, which just doesn't sound fun and it doesn't seem necessary. To be honest, I think the best thing we can do is tear it down, which this is just a good lesson, I guess. I need to really be smart about where I put my farms in the future, because I gotta realize I gotta build something over all of these. Hold on, this is a gunpowder farm. I know a great way to destroy it. Now this couldn't go wrong, right? I'm sure it'll be fine. Wow, these are some strong trapdoors. They completely block the blast. Let's just... Why did I do that? Why did I do... Okay, we're out of here. That worked alright, I guess. There's still a lot to do. With that ugly stone box removed, we now have space to build something here. And I think I'm gonna put a windmill here. So let's do that right now. I think that windmill design turned out great. However, there's still a lot of land around here that needs to be detailed, and I actually want to add maybe a house or 2 in this area. So first, let's lay out some paths. With the paths laid out, let's try to add as much detail to this area as we can. A few trees, a cart, and a little bit of grass over here later, and we've detailed out this area. It's very simple, but I think it looks so much better than just being plain grass. And I think there's just one final thing we have to do for this whole area here. There's one open spot right there, which I think I'm gonna put a little house here. With this house added in here, we've really filled up this area, and I think what we've done today has added so much to our world. I'm extremely proud of what I've done here in this world in the last month. Our world is at 800 days, which means we are so close to hitting my goal of... Wait, what is this? This wasn't here yesterday. What is this? It looks like a portal. It looks so familiar. What is this? So if it's a portal, right? Should I go through it? That seems like a good idea. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?